What's up, guys? It's John Howell here from officialjohnhowell.com, and today we are going to be looking and taking a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or the Dow Jones Industrial Average chart, obviously in the US market. Now, the reason I'm looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, because for me personally, I'm trying to get a gauge of what's happening in the market right now. The S&P, I put the S&P chart out right there, and the S&P was actually at an area of resistance, and it blasted through that last night. And it looks like it might continue running up to new highs. So I wanted to take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And in this video, we're going to take a look at a few charts here. Okay, we're going to take a look at the monthly chart to see what the monthly chart's doing. We're going to take a look at the weekly chart to see what the weekly chart's doing. We're going to take a look at the daily chart, obviously to see what daily chart, and then we're going to look at the 2-day chart. I think it's the 2-day chart that I'm going to take a look at as well too. So I want to take a look because, especially on the monthly chart, on the monthly chart, I'm going to show you something really interesting that's happening with the volume decreasing right now when we're actually looking at the chart itself. Anyway, guys, I'm going to take a good look at this right now. I'm going to really go over it in detail. So let's actually get straight into the charts. Let's go. Okay, so let's have a look at what the Dow Jones Industrial Average chart is actually telling us right now. Let's actually dive into this. Now, the first thing is we're looking at the weekly chart here. Now, the daily chart. Let's just quickly flip over to the daily chart, okay? And we'll look at the daily chart here. And one thing that I do see straight away by looking at the daily chart is this: clearly we've had some obviously nice, good support coming up through there. So we're still in a nice big upward channel, and we are pushing up higher through here. And we also can see that we're sort of in a bit of a It's sort of like squeezing up into this sort of triangle pattern, as you can see here, right? And it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And as you can see, that's been happening as sort of started back in 2013, and then sort of mid 2013 to where we are right now. So basically a year, it's been developing this sort of triangle pattern, squeezing up and squeezing up and squeezing up. Now, if I show you something here, let's go over, say, to the monthly chart, and I squeeze this up. One thing you'll see on the Dow Jones chart is this: the vertical move of this here. Okay, the vertical move of this bit here is absolutely just, amazing. You know what I mean? You see how vertical that move is, and so obviously this is looking at a longer term picture. But I'm not sure if you know, but look at this here, right? Look at this here. The market has screamed to the high side ever since 2009. But what has happened to the volume? That doesn't correlate with me. You know what I mean? Like we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller overall. We're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The volume's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Obviously, it was not going to do us any good now, but I just want to point out something to you that simply can't keep going on. You know what I mean? Like, that tells me that this is a fake run overall. Okay, it's fake. Fake simply means that, to me, it's not a real market bubble. So by looking at this chart here, guys, it just shows me that, hey, this market cannot sustain what is going on right now overall. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. Plus, if we just draw a trend line from, say, here to here, okay, we can see that we're clearly that line there, guys. That line right there was definitely a big level of support or resistance. So if we go back to the weekly chart now, okay, we can see that this is where we're at right now when it comes to that. So let's just delete this off the chart, and we can see once again we're in that triangle pattern. But let's actually have a look at, let's go and have a closer look at the daily chart here. Let me show you what I see right now. First and foremost, we are pushing up higher, so the bulls have this. Once again, if you go back to the weekly chart, we are continuing to step higher. So the bulls have this, and so we should assume, or we should just assume that this market's going to keep going on higher because of this market movement. Okay, but there are a few things that we need to keep an eye out for, and that is
One, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average chart, like the S&P chart, we had a nice up day on the S&P chart, and also on the Dow Jones chart, we had a nice up day as well too. But the one thing I do say is, if we have a look at what we're looking at right now is this. Okay, let's just look at the last couple of months worth of data. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6 months worth of data there. Let's actually just squeeze it up a bit more. Okay. And one thing that I want to show you is this. Okay, let's have a look at this here. If we have a look at sort of the last 1, 2, 3 and a bit months worth of data, okay, on a 3-month daily trend, one thing I do see is this. Okay, is that first and foremost, that we have, it's just generally been sideways, right? Over the last sort of 3 months, if you look at it, the market's gone from here, and that's been obviously the top up there, okay? And so we've just been in this sideways movement. That's the first thing I want to sort of point out to you there. And you can really see that this level down here, okay, this level down here was a significant support level. This is looking at the short-term time frame here, okay? Significant support level. Once, twice, 3, it came down, it held that support, and now we're continuing to run up. Now we're nice big sort of what we call bullish up day, okay? And now we're continuing on pushing up higher. Not a lot of volume compared to yesterday, but now we are pushing up higher through there. And so first thing I do see is that you can see that back here we had this sort of nice little channel in place, okay? And if I just create that little channel, you can see we had that nice little channel in place. Market ran up, started slowly stepping higher, then broke down, a nice big breakdown, and now we're breaking back up. So what is happening here on the overall Dow Jones Industrial Average chart? What can we see here by looking at this chart? Well, let's actually look at this here, okay? One thing we do see is this, okay? We've had this big run down through here, and now we're running back up, and we are still getting into an overall lot of resistance points up here, okay? We had, because these are resistance points, okay? We had this resistance point through here, okay? This sort of, that sort of area through there is a resistance point, and we've got a lot of sort of resistance and support up through here, as you can see, right? So in the Dow Jones Industrial Average chart, we have a lot of resistance. I'm not saying that's going to stop it and reverse it. I'm just saying there's a lot of resistance we need to keep an eye for. If it breaks those, then we should make new highs. You know what I'm saying? So they are the key things that I'm looking out for when looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average chart. Okay, is these support and resistance levels. Now, another thing that I have noticed is looking at the strength in moves. And this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. But let's have a look at this here. The strength in moves, okay? We've been slowly stepping higher, stepping higher. And then we've had this big strong move down, and now we've got this move up. If I go to say a 2-day chart, we can really start to see this on a bit more evident basis. And what I mean by this, what I mean by that is this. If we have a look at the strength of this downward movement, and let's actually just change this color to say a purple, okay? We can see so far we can see the strength of this selling move is not as strong as this buying move up through here. You know what I mean? Like when the move up through here is not as strong as this move down through here. So that could be a sign of shifting in that could be a sign of shifting the market. Again, now I'm not saying the market's likely to reverse. Once again, we do see, if you're looking at this level up through here, this level overall through here, especially on the 2-day chart, you can really see that overall level there was a big resistance level. You know what I'm saying? So things to keep out for is this resistance level through here, and now we're pushing it up through here. Now, what we could be forming into here is maybe like a little potential, like maybe flag formation, possibly. Okay, snap it up through there, and like you can see, it's like it's staying between these sort of levels through here, and could continue to push up. So I would say, guys, that looking at this here, it looks very strong on the weekly chart. Okay, looks very strong on the weekly chart. It looks like we are pushing up higher. But what I also am saying is that that we need to be alert of what is happening right now, but by looking at this stock, you know what I'm saying? So, but I do see this market at least having another update tomorrow, pushing up in towards this resistance level, and then we're going to see whether this market's likely to turn. And sometimes, guys, being a professional trader means standing back and waiting for the market to show you what it wants to do, and then hopping on it. You know what I mean? And that's one of those times right now. So if we just remove all these off the chart, then I also want to show you something else. Now, once again, guys, okay, it all comes down to obviously that, but it all comes down to the peaks and troughs, okay? It just all comes down to that. And if we're looking at the latest peaks and troughs, okay, on this daily chart, this here was the peak, okay? That there was the peak. This here was the trough, and we haven't made a peak yet, okay? So we have made a lower trough, a peak, a lower trough, and now we're running up to the high side. So we haven't made a lower peak yet, and so the market's continuing up through here. So if the market does make a lower peak, then I'll be going over the exact same analysis like I did yesterday. But for now, guys, that's exactly what I see right now looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average chart. It really is running up in an area of resistance. And guys, I'm very, very cautious of what's going on with this market. Again, if I look at the weekly chart here for a minute and I squeeze it up, once again, you can see what's happening with this volume, right? It just seems like it's getting this overall average. This overall average is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, while we keep continuing to rise up through there. Makes sense? So so that's something to keep an eye out for. But right now, guys, we are overall stepping higher on the weekly chart. But we just got to keep an eye out for whether it does start to form a lower peak on the daily chart, and that might see us starting to get some movement on the downside.
So there we have it, right? There we have it on the charts, when we can actually see what's happening on the market right now, especially on the daily chart, right? Is we've got this big strong run down through here, and now we're just having a little run up through here. This is obviously on the daily chart. Now that could be the sign of a pull down, or a bit of a bearish move in the markets, but we don't know, right? We don't know what's happening right now, and that's the whole thing. Based on a lot of people out there, it's very, very, very uncertain right now. Now, looking on the weekly chart, okay, the weekly chart is we're still stepping higher. So the overall momentum in the market right now is still up overall. And so that's where we should assume the market is likely to continue to go based on that. But that's on the longer term time frame chart. On the daily chart, just keep an eye out for that flag formation, right? We might be forming a flag formation through there. So if we do start to break down through here, right, what's that going to cause? That's going to cause us to start creating a lower peak in the market, and possibly even now a lower trough in the market. Okay, now that's what could be in the market right now, and that's looking at the bearish side of it. Okay, that's a lot of bearishness there. Plus, also the reason why it's a lot of bearishness is because, as we saw, right, there's a whole area through here on the daily chart that was actually showing an area of resistance. So that's the thing that we should be looking out for and keeping an eye out for when looking at that particular chart and looking at that overall market there. As we can see right now, guys, right, by looking at the market is all about being flexible and being flowing with it. And some of the most successful traders out there that I've had access to, they flow with the market. Okay, they absolutely flow with the market when it comes to that. And the flow in the market means that right now the market looks very bullish, but in a couple of days time frame, it could say, you know what, the market looks like it's going to go up, but in a couple of day time frame, it looks like the market's going to start going down now. And obviously that's a shorter term time frame as well too. But the most successful traders I know flip on a dime. They have no personal view of what the market is doing. They're looking at the charts. And so as we read the charts and as you go through the charts, it's so important for you to have a neutral mind about what the market's doing. It's like, okay, the chart's telling me this, so I only have to go with bullish. The charts are telling me this, so I only have to go with bearish. Make sense? And so keeping that flexible mind around the actual chart itself is going to always keep you alert. It's like, okay, Is it bullish or is it bearish? Not based on my opinion, but what the market is telling me, which is the chart itself, okay? So anyway, right now, as you can see, especially on that monthly chart, right, as you saw on that monthly chart, the market's been going sky rise, but what's been happening with that volume? The volume's been going tapering down big time, and as you know, that simply cannot sustain over many years. And if this was a true bubble, I mean, if this was a true booming market out there, and the market was truly booming, then doesn't it make sense that the volume should be doing this? Makes sense, right? If there's a lot of people getting in the market and everything's pushing this up, and then this market's pulling down, then why is the volume keep tapering off? Volume is the amount of trading that's in the market right now, and that's showing me still there's a lot of uncertainty right now in the markets. Okay, so anyway, guys, this is this is it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you learned some things about the charts as well too, and my view and what I look at right now. If you are interested, or if you did like this video, then there's a subscribe button just there. Click on that subscribe button to subscribe for more videos out there. And also there's a little button there that says, or a little link that says officialjohnhowe.com. Click on that. It's going to take you to my website where you can learn more information about who I am and also my trading style and trading strategies as well too. I try and keep this up a bit more. I try and keep this a bit more regular now. I did stop for a while, but I'm going to try and keep them up there now to really help you and really serve you and really support you. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. This is John Howell here from officialjohnhowe.com, and remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.